Well, I think that finished is all about perspective. I mean, really, a recording is nothing more than a stamp of time, of memory of what the music was at that point in time. I think that you're never truly finished writing a song, even after you put it out there. You play it live, over and over. The 500th show, you're playing it live still, and you're like, yeah, this is, I add this, I do this totally different than I did on the recording. Nobody could maybe pick that out, maybe, but it never really truly ends, right?
This is Rob Ruckus.
Hey, this is Kate Clover.
Hey guys, it's Nick Collins here from The Effect and Better Strangers.
Hi, my name is Madeline Rose.
Hey, it's Ben McKelvey.
It's Tim Howard here from Mike and the Mechanics.
Hello, I'm Amanda Lehman.
I'm Billy Harvey.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Casey Sampson from the band Twist Stop.
Hey, it's Tony from Fastball.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Mitchell.
Hey guys, it's Matt here from the White Lakes.
You're listening to Almost Famous Magazine.
Come join us for this interview. Check it out, Almost Famous Magazine.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Hang right here on Almost Famous Magazine. Today, I'm going to be honest, we're going to learn a lot. Here's why. This is a new-ish band, went through a name change. They are now Echo Riot. I've got Todd McMullan with me, and I'm going to learn with you along the way everything we need to know about Echo Riot, what they're all about, where they're going, their new single, Not Dead Yet, as well as what got them together as a band. So let's start out of the gate. Todd, welcome.
What's up? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
this
absolutely.
is awesome. Yeah,
absolutely. This is a great one because we're just gonna I'm really like, how did this all happen? Like, I understand
right.
you had something going under another name, and now you're Echo Riot. And
yeah,
let's start there and see where it takes us.
Absolutely. So here's the big picture story of how we got here, how Echo Riot became Echo Riot. Years ago, back in, 2004, I used to play in a band called Synthetic Elements. It was a punk ska band from Colorado here. And we had a heyday of a time for about 14, 15 plus years, touring all over the place. We used to own a record label down here called Filthy Beast Records, had a bunch of different bands under that record label. We also had a recording studio where we would record those bands, and I would produce those bands, and we would kick out a lot of music and just help support each other in a local scene. And we had a lot of fun. Years passed, and for no other reason than just life happened, right? And the band guys we all started having families, kids, and times got a little tough to do the band. So time passed, and ended up moving down to Castle Rock, Colorado here with my family, next to the drummer from Synthetic Elements that I've known for 20 plus years. And, within like a week or so, we were in my basement playing music again. And it was so much fun. And we're just like, we would crack a case of Coors Light and just go, we need a bass to fill this out. We got to figure it out, right? And he's like, I know my neighbor across the street plays bass. Should we do that? I'm like, yeah, let's get him over here. And like immediately he clicked, and we just started firing off a bunch of punk covers. And then, at one point we're like, this is amazing. It'd be really cool to have like just an extra element to this. And so that's when we brought in Nate, who plays guitar. And he actually comes from a Rage Against the Machine cover band over here in Colorado. And as soon as he came in, we were just like, wow, yeah, that was the missing piece. And so what we started doing is we started playing, just like Synthetic Elements started a long time ago, back in the day, we started playing cover songs. Just songs that we know and we hold true to our hearts, like old punk ska cover songs. Some of our biggest influences are, Rancid, NoFX, Dropkick Murphys, The Clash, stuff like that. Just old punk stuff that we all really love so much. And we would just play those cover songs, and we started calling ourselves Raff Punk, just to have a name. And so I threw it up on social media that we were kind of doing this, and people started hitting us up wanting to play shows. And we're like, well, we probably better do that because that sounds like it's going to be a hell of a good time. So we started playing a couple of shows, and before you know it, we had a couple of shows under our belt, we started writing our own original music again. And it really started coming out great. And that's when our first single, Rising Up, came out. We're like, let's do this. Let's put this music out. And, I kind of got with the band guys at that point and said, if we're going to do this, I think we should probably come up with a unique name other than the cop on Daft Punk, because that's great and all, but that's kind of our cover, cover band name. And we could still play Daft Punk shows if we want to and play all those covers. That's great. And I love doing that. But why don't we, if we're going to go make it official, let's make it official. And so we all kind of threw a bunch of names in a hat, and we started talking about what the band meant to us and what it was for us. And we kind of settled on Echo Riot. And so that was the name change from Daft Punk to Echo Riot that you're talking about. And now we're in an era of pumping out our music. And it's really good and really exciting.
Now the echo piece of it is interesting because I think I saw like a video somewhere that you posted about getting all your kids involved to do some background noise or something like that. Does that have something to do with the echo piece of it? Is there a connection there?
Yeah, well, so the echo piece. So really, what Echo Riot, the way it became the name, is that we were all kind of talking about how nowadays it's so much different than it was, 20 plus years ago when we were doing it with the old band, where we'd hand out handbill flyers and we would just, have to go around to different shows and mail people things and this, that, and the other. Now it's all social media. And while technology is so awesome and great, it is crippling, our communication with one another and turning us all into these like zombies and putting us all in this like echo chamber of all we want to hear is what we get back. And so for us, we wanted to create music that would help riot against that echo chamber and bring people together. So that was the whole Echo Riot thing. That's why we came up with Echo Riot. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, I mean, we do live in this digital echo chamber that, it has more than four walls, but unfortunately things bounce around inside of there.
Right. Yeah, it's too bad. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is, and I think that at the end of the day, I just wish that I want people to know that we're all going to be okay and that everybody is more powerful than that. We need to, just let that layer just shed down and see one another and know that we're not that bad. There's some definite bad people out there, don't get me wrong, but if we can all be stronger and better together at the end of the day.
It's interesting you mentioned that. I covered punk rock bowling in Las Vegas this year, and that was my first big punk festival, and
nice.
It was palatable. Like, you'd meet people, you'd talk to people. I was doing interviews, like man and women on the street stuff, and the joy and the happiness and what punk rock bowling was, or not punk rock Saves Lives was doing, and bringing people together with, in their own way, and just to see the joy people had was a lot different than a lot of other festivals you go to for some reason. And I think it's because of the essence of the community has exactly what you were talking about. We may be in this echo chamber, but we have our voice. Things will be okay. Yeah.
And that's the thing that really brought me to punk was the kind of anti-establishment, factor of it. And I think right now from us in punk rock, anti-establishment is anti this technology that's just drowning all of us. I think for us, that's what we're trying to fight against. And that's why we're like, let's make some music. Let's have fun with this,
It's interesting you mentioned that. I was in another episode I was taping. I posed a question and an idea, and maybe you can give me some insight on your thoughts. the top 40 now, or top whatever it is, I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter, right? Because it's just a lot of music. It's been noted recently that there are no bands in it. It's all these individual artists. And even in rock, like traditional rock, nowadays most rock bands have keyboards, they're playing the backing tracks, they're kind of locked in by technology. And punk, which has been, it came on the scene eons ago raging, has had ups and downs. You hit Nirvana, more up, then we went to grunge. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think punk is like, if you really want to be a musician who just plays their instrument and doesn't count on technology, I get this feeling that punk is the place you need to be right now. And there's a resurgence. Am I correct in that? Do you feel like that is what's happening?
I agree with you. I think that it's 100% that, when you strip it all down at the end of the day, I think music to me is just conveying emotion. And you can certainly do that through a lot of different, high produced sounds and programs. And you can do that well too. But I think that if you're going for that, that real sound, that like groove, that just dirty, raw truth, you're going to want some loud guitars and drums, and you're going to want it, somebody just yelling in that microphone. So to me, that I agree with you. I think it's crazy to me. I get it though, because it's kind of the echo chamber thing right now with music too. I mean, it's an AI and everything. It's just kind of bubbling over. So it's fun to be in music now, I think more than ever, because one, it's the easiest to make it's ever been, I think, as far as like getting together with people and recording it and trying to put it out, you get all these mediums and stuff. But two, I think it's just fun it seems like you're sneaking around trying to play a show now because everybody's going to these big like concerts and different things, and it's not the main thing anymore. And it's really fun. It's really good, and it's great, and I love it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about that whole crowded space that music is these days. And in that, it's become a little more challenging because there are so many people, because of what you said, the ease of making music and recording music. Echo Riot's got 2 songs out as of right now. You guys have been writing. What's going to be your secret sauce? Like, what have you guys started to realize is going to be special about Echo Riot in what you're creating that's going to help you stand out in a field of music these days?
That is a great question. And I think the biggest thing for me personally that comes to writing music is that I just write it for myself. I don't write it for any of these fans or people or whatever. I just write what feels good to me, what comes out, what I would want to hear. And I try to do that the absolute best to my ability that I can. And, in doing that, I think that that's going to convey as much emotion as I possibly can and hopefully reach as many people as I possibly can with that music. So, it's a wild sea of things that we're all in right now. But I think that for me, it's just all you got to do is take that first step, right? It seems very intimidating from looking in on the outside, but at the end of the day, do what feels right to yourself, and the truth will prevail, and you'll come out on top.
Right. Now, are you a traditional kind of 4-piece band? What's the band makeup like?
Yeah, so the band consists of, we have Brett on the drums, I'm on guitar and I sing, and then we have a bass player, Dan, and then we have Nate on the guitar as well. So we all sing, really. Even the drummer has a microphone. I know that might alarm some people out there, but he does. It's kind of crazy.
Now, tell me a little bit about the guys in the band, because I'm a big believer, and we've all seen bands that when you took the pieces apart weren't the same, right? Each individual brings something, and when they bring it together, that's what really makes it. Tell me what the other guys bring as far as either influence, style, or something they add into the special sauce to give you guys the kind of the feel of the sound that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that, Brett on the drums, one of the biggest things that he brings that he's always brought when we've played music for, like I was saying, a couple of decades together. And one of the things that I love that he brings is a hip hop vibe. So he's actually very much so into hip hop. I mean, he loves all kinds of music. Don't get me wrong. And he's a wonderful drummer. But I think that the groove that he likes to bring with that hip hop beat on top of the punk rock flavor is just phenomenal. I've always loved that about him. Dan, the bass player, him and Brett have really connected into the rhythm section of the band recently, and it's been awesome. He's kind of bringing a more of I would almost say like alternative funk vibe, which is really cool on the bass. And also, he loves punk rock music as well. So that's really cool and exciting too. And then Nate, he him playing in the old Rage Against the Machine cover band, he knows how to do all those weird, like, all the weird sounds on the guitar. And he is an absolute virtuoso. He's actually a classically trained pianist, which is crazy. So, like, we'll take a break in band practice, and Nate'll just sit down at the piano and it's amazing. We're like, what? You're like, you need to be in a hotel lobby somewhere right now, man. That is ridiculous. But his guitar playing is phenomenal, and it definitely shines through when we're all writing music together. It's really, really great.
So you guys have reached the point where this is all a band collaboration right now. No one's bringing an individual song, but you guys are actually doing it together to develop that your music.
Yeah, great question. So our writing process mainly consists of I'll bring like formulated ideas with lyrics to band practice, and then and we'll have like a very loose structure put in place. Hey, here's an idea, guys. Record it on a phone. Check it out. Wrote it down on a napkin, whatever. And then we'll all collaborate in creating that together. And everybody brings something different to the table. And at the end of the day, when we go to record it, we start refining it even more. And we've just been churning out, I think, bangers left and right. And it's been awesome. Yeah.
Cool. So you're in a punk band, right? Who are your influences that drove you toward punk, right? And that have really kind of fed you musically for your for you to create a style of your own?
Yeah, I think for me personally, my influences came from back in the day, just being a skater kid, listening to punk at the skate park. We got everything from like Anti-Flag, Alkaline Trio, Rancid, you name it. No Use for a Name. I think, honestly, name dropping all those, I think the coolest thing that really ignited me in down this path was going to see Green Day with The Living End played on their Dookie tour here at the Fillmore. And it absolutely blew my mind. Like, I've never heard of The Living End before that concert. I've never seen Green Day, and that was prime Dookie time, and it was amazing. They came through, and I remember Living End opening up. I don't know if you've never seen Living End. They have the big full bass, and they're kind of a rockabilly style. They're from Australia. And the bass player loves to just climb on the bass, and he'll get on top of it, and then he'll middle of a song swing it, and grab it, and then he'll jump out into the crowd, and he'll crowd surf with it, and then he'll get back out of the thing. And I was just like, holy shit, this is amazing! I love this. It can't get any better. And then Green Day came out on the stage and just literally melted everybody's head. Like, it was insane. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And that kind of laid the baseline for me to go, okay, this is fun. I like the entertainment aspect of this. I like, turning a crowd on, having that control of the crowd, giving the energy to the people, conveying that emotion through music, and just being able to get up there and really be passionate about it. It really threw me down the whole rabbit hole of punk and ska music for the rest of my life. I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. I'm in.
Cool. Well, now you're in a punk band. Let me ask you this then. What music is your comfort food? What is your tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich if you're just trying to enjoy something? Like, do you stay within punk, or do you have are you a closet Wayne Newton fan, right? Who what do you like to do when you're not doing punk? Is there anything else?
Yeah, so I mean, yes, absolutely. I love all kinds of music. Don't get me wrong. I mean, everything has its own facet of being amazing. I honestly, I really like bluegrass music a lot. I play the banjo. I love playing the banjo. I love listening to even, death metal once in a while is great. It just depends on my mood, to be 100% honest with you. But yeah, I do a lot of camping. And so when I'm up in the mountains, I just want to hear some like crazy banjo, fast bluegrass kind of stuff. The old Devil Makes Three, give me some Split Lip Rayfield, any of that stuff. I'm all for it. Yep, love it.
What are the odds, since you guys are in writing mode, we're gonna hear a song from the band with a banjo going through your pedal board?
Oh, hey, I wouldn't put it past us. You never know. I don't know. You never know. Could happen.
Could we get some bluegrass punk?
Oh man, it might be a thing. You never know.
You never know. Look, maybe we just invented a new genre here today.
Yeah.
Let's go back in the way back time. You said you were a skater kid. You saw Green Day. What was it? Did you find music, or did music find you? How'd that come together?
Oh, great question. So music kind of found me to a degree. So the way that music entered my life was my dad growing up. Actually, before I was even in the picture, my dad used to go around in the 70s recording bands out of his old like conversion van, and he would kick out albums back to the bands, and so he was always into music, and he always had a slew of different instruments and stuff laying around the house. So the way that the way that I kind of stumbled into it was that the story goes that the skate park, it was rainy one day at the skate park, so we couldn't go out there and skate. And so what ended up happening is my dad goes, "Hey, here's a guitar. Get your other skater buddies over here. Here's a bass. Here's a bongo. Just do something." And we're like, "All right, whatever, Dad." Meh. Oh, this is like kind of cool. Let's do our own thing. Let's play this. And then we're like, "This is actually super rad. Let's go." And then it just kind of progressed from there. My dad, God bless him, he persevered through all of it. He was the band manager for 14 plus years with Synthetic Elements, and he gave us the keys to a 15 passenger van with a trailer, and we had all the equipment, and said, "All right, go." And so we did national tours for years on end, and we even went international for a little bit. We went to Guam and South Korea and Japan and played over there. It was incredible. But yeah, those were the different. I think that's the path that it took for me.
So did you ever go back to the skate park after that?
It's not there anymore. It's crazy. They demolished it. This sucks. I wish it was still there. I would totally go back.
That got you down another path for sure. I one of the things about music that really blows me away these days is things that artists are having to do to create and generate interest. Right now, you guys are on Facebook. I see you've got a couple videos up on YouTube. You have an Instagram. What are your plans? Like, are you guys going to become kind of quasi content creators? How do you plan to get the word out about the band and really, do some things that are going to help you stand out?
Well, yeah, it's wild right now. You have to live in that realm, One thing that I don't want to be is a constant social media marketing person. I'm not that. I'm making this content to support my art, not making this art content just to make content. So, if you ever follow us or do any of that stuff, you're not going to get bombarded. I'm not following everybody and my friends and stuff. I just don't do that. I don't like that. And I might get more people doing that, but I'm not going to do that. But I am going to try and do the best I can at it to hopefully, reach as many people as possible by, marketing us in the right way. So, because I don't want to fall behind and I don't want to necessarily miss out on missed opportunities. So it's a balance, really, at the end of the day. And I'm still kind of figuring that out. But, we're brand new. I mean, we just appeared on the internet April of this year and now we have like 2,000 plus followers on Instagram and stuff. It's crazy. And it's just working it and trying to, find these people and find our community here so that, when we're ready to go out into that community, we have that ready for us and we can make those connections. But on top, other than that, I definitely am not trying to, do post 4 times a week and there's a lot of great educational videos out there for anybody who's interested in doing that. That's really good. Just go on YouTube. But there's a certain degree where it becomes annoying to people and not authentic. And I think you got to make sure you're riding that line of being authentic and not annoying.
So you're going to take a little bit different path. You're not going to be as heavy social. You're going to kind of cultivate a specific audience. You guys are writing and you've released 2 songs. Do you plan to take kind of a new approach in music release, which is a lot of people are doing, like, a song a month or an EP, or you plan to do an entire album and release it then? Like, what can we expect? We're in the kind of the end of the year. What can we expect to happen between now and maybe January, February next year?
Well, yeah, the goal for this year was to put out 3 songs. So we have a third one on deck. We're finishing right now. So by the end of the year, we'll have 3 songs out. And the way that we've been doing it is, we used to put out albums, but it's just not like that anymore. For us, I think that we're doing singles every time until we have enough singles to call it an album, and then wrap it up in an album, and love to stamp out a vinyl at that point. But I was mentioning those videos you can watch. Of course, I'm making sure that I'm up to date on those. So one of the things that I've learned is that marketing these days isn't necessarily one big punch of putting out an album. It's more so a fight that you're doing, right? So if you have 12 songs ready to go, you need to wait on those and sleep on those and put one out, then the other, because every time you're doing that, you're throwing different punches and you're going to start winning people's attention. Because just like Echo Riot, we're on these echo chambers, right? You're fighting for people's attention. Everybody's attention is a daily, just news feed is a daily cycle, right? You got 30 seconds to get in front of somebody new. And if you don't have that exciting new thing more than once, sure, you put out an album, 30 seconds, you're like, here you go. You're like, okay, well, there's 12 songs, great, I'll listen to it later, next thing. Tomorrow, forget about it. As opposed to, I got one album here, I got a single here, that's cool. And then the next one a little bit later, okay, I remember those guys, I might check that out. And the third one, you're like, okay, I see what's going on here. And then you can start to follow the cycle of things. So for us, that's kind of the trajectory we're taking is really going for more of a sustained approach with releasing as opposed to just putting out a single album, which we could, but we have the music, but we're kind of just trickling it out as we can. So
No,
yeah,
reasonable. It's it's definitely a different day and age. I recently started buying records for my niece because she got a record player, right? And a 14-year-old,
nice.
like a 14-year-old now who really wants records, and it's like, wait a minute, we evolved to this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody wanted, self-serve music, right? I want what I want, when I want, how I want it, and only the tracks that I want. To now, my niece is like hooked on, she'll sit there mesmerized, and is like when you were a kid and you looked at the liner notes and you really absorbed it, and it's great to see her doing that. So it's definitely an interesting time we're living in when it comes to how to deliver your message in what medium.
Fully agree. Yeah, I think that there's definitely a place for vinyl in the world still. I think there always would be, because of that magic that it has, right? You can hold it, it's tangible. It's this thing that plays music. If I put a needle on it, it's always going to be there. So I think, yeah, and that's wonderful that the newer generation's finding that. I think that's fantastic.
For sure. Hey, I've been on a talk track lately that I'm interested in and curious about other people's opinion. So you guys write a song, right? And you're a writing collective, all right? You're writing a song. You start in one place. Like you said, you record on a phone. It starts building. You get a bunch of tracks. You put it together. How does Echo Riot decide when it's really done? Like you like, we can't add anything. We don't want to take anything away. We're going to let the paint dry, because that's a big difference in music, right? You put paint on canvas, it dries, you're stuck, right? Music, though, you can always make some changes. So what is like finished for Echo Riot? What does that look like?
Well, I think that finished is all about perspective. I mean, really, recording is nothing more than a stamp of time, of memory of what the music was at that point in time. I think that you're never truly finished writing a song. Even after you put it out there, you play it live, over and over. The 500th show, you're playing it live still, and you're like, yeah, this is, I add this, I do this totally different than I did on the recording. Nobody could maybe pick that out, maybe, but it never really truly ends, right? So when you're in the studio and you're trying to figure out, okay, are we good? I think the key to that is having that goal line in your head before you start, right? Hey, we're going to do, drums, bass, guitar, this, that, and the other. I know the tracks. And then we'll have a little bit of time to add the extras. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about setting those goals and those milestones, and even time-based goals, and saying, hey, by X amount of time, we're going to put this out. And so that kind of wraps it up. Otherwise, you could do the Axl Rose style and just continually make the same music forever and never put it out, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's interesting because I've been in conversations where some people are like, you know what, I'll go out and I'll see Sting, and he's doing Roxanne for the 45th different way that he's ever had to do Roxanne, but it's constantly evolving. And then there are people who are like, I just like it the way it is in a record. So it's a very interesting thing, and it's a creative choice to whether you're going to go out and reproduce exactly what you made, or you're going to, finesse it as you go along. And I think one thing is, and one of the things I like about punk is this. Punk, similar to jazz, still lends itself to a lot of improvisational opportunity in a live show, and not curtailed to specifics of production as much as many other artists have become kind of handcuffed to that. Right? Would you agree?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. So if you come to an Echo Riot show, you're going to hear the same songs, but they're played differently. And if you go to one or the other, you're going to hear different solos during the solo parts. Obviously the main leads and stuff like that are going to be what they are, but the improv part of it and the magic of the show and performing in front of people and making that night in a unique experience for people is something that definitely I hold highly. I think that you got to do that. You got to keep them entertained and keep it new and exciting.
Excellent. You guys, I know you're based in Colorado, right? Any small touring or any shows coming up between now and the end of the year?
So right now we're in songwrite mode. We're in song pump it out mode. We don't have anything on the books as of yet. But if you're listening to this and you're interested in booking us, let me know because we can talk. We did play a show last month or 2 months ago at Moe's here in Colorado. And that's just because some friends were like, hey, you guys want on this? We're like, absolutely, let's do it. And so we're not turning them away, but we have yet to start into the play and show mode, which is going to happen very soon. Here, I think next spring is where we're going to try to get out there and really start hitting it hard with the shows. So excited for that and excited to really show, because once we have this music catalog, then we can kind of know what people will know what we're about and they can come to the show and come check it out.
Cool. Awesome. A couple things, put the band aside for a minute. If you as a musician and a creative had an opportunity to get in a studio with one other musician anywhere in the world, any style, genre, whatever, who would that person be that you'd want to go create with for a day and why?
That is such a good question. Oh, man. That's so hard. I think I've always really liked Tim Armstrong's songwriting. He's not the best singer, don't get me wrong, and a lot of people have mixed, feelings about Tim Armstrong and ranted and that. But I've really always liked his producing and his musical ability to write songs. And I think that it'd probably be pretty rad to have that opportunity to be, in the studio with him and do some music together. I think that would be kind of a dream come true to me.
Well, you just put it out there, so we're going to see what happens. You never know. As anyone who watches this knows that part of I just feel that we have to do our part as the audience these days to support our artists, right? This stuff isn't free. It comes at a price. Most people don't even realize the price that comes at the artist's expense. So I'm a big proponent of buying music, right? So Echo Riot has 2 songs out. You go out, buy those 2 songs. It won't cost you as much as an album these days, but go out and buy them. But I also think it's important that we share other artists, right? I think that we can find, although the algorithms will find you stuff on Spotify, I think hearing it from someone's mouth, like these are a few people I'm listening to. I've got them on repeat. This is my jam at the gym, whatever. Who are 2 or 3 artists? Doesn't have to be anyone who's known by anybody watching. This is all about opening people's eyes up to new music. But who would a couple of those artists be that you're really digging and why?
Yeah. Fantastic question. I got to tell you, Bad Year out at Colorado here recently came out with a new album. And it is so good. It's just really good. If you have the time, go listen to that because it's great. Those guys are crushing it. It's so cool. Also, another band that I would say is totally bullying my playlist right now is Black Dots. Sci-fi for this guy. Another local Colorado band you got to check out. They're so good. And then I think I'd have to throw the Fricashinas in there. I saw them on here not too long ago. I know, but I'd have to throw the Fricashinas in here. I like your band better. That song is great. Jeremiah, come on, you guys are doing a great job. It's awesome.
The Fricashinas. Yep. We talked a little bit ago, and I know they just played a couple of shows, I think in the Denver area. Those guys got it going on. I met them at Punk Rock Bowling. Never know, maybe next year I'll meet you guys out at Punk Rock Bowling.
That'd be sick.
No, that'd be crazy.
We'd love it.
It's a great time. Have you been to Punk Rock Bowling before?
I never have, but I've always wanted to go. So, yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
Submit your tape. Submit your songs now.
There you go.
Play the street stage. Todd, this has been great. It's been wonderful getting to know you, learning about the band. I wish you all the best. For all those people who are watching, a couple things. Number one, we appreciate you. I know Echo Riot is going to appreciate you following them on social media, listening to their music, buying their music, looking for that new single every month. If you enjoy what we're doing here on The Hang, if you're loving it, please subscribe to the page. We're dropping about one new one every single week with artists across the board, all different styles, all different shapes. You name it, we've got them coming here on The Hang. Come back to Almost Famous Magazine. Check out our socials. Check out Echo Riot. And Todd, all the best to you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys do.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on here and giving us the medium to, expand our band. Really appreciate what you do and everything that you're doing here. This is fantastic. So honored to be on here with you. Thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.